Hey everybody, Carolina Tony coming to you today from Hamlet, North Carolina at the train station. We're going to look at some trains today and this very old train depot that's still in use today. Thank you for stopping by my channel. If you're here for the first time, be sure to go down here and click subscribe. I always put videos out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, so check back often. For now, let's go look at some trains. Let's go inside and take a look. Okay, inside the train museum, here is a display of various kinds of communication. Of course, we all know about the railroad lanterns, and they were old oil-operated lanterns. And of course, today we use a rechargeable lantern. But down here is kind of interesting. This is a flare, and we've all seen flares from time to time, but the railroad people would hold them in their hands, and if they would move it up and down, that would mean it's clear to go ahead. And if they'd do it in a circle, that's what it would look like at night, that would mean back up, and a U circle would mean stop. Never knew that. Here's something I bet we don't see every day. Looks like a wheelbarrow with bent handles, but it's on the track. And this was for track maintenance. Said workmen could walk down the middle of the track while carrying the gravel and tools on the rail, making it a lot easier to push. Amazing. For those people traveling on the Seaboard Airline Railway Company, just some of the things: a spittoon and a coffee cup, cloth napkins, and real silverware. Used on the Seaboard Airline, the silver meteor. That's what they would eat in the dining car. And these spittoons were provided to passengers that chewed tobacco. They definitely didn't want them spitting on the floor.
People so grand had just started out on its way. The people who were on board of the train seemed to be happy and gay.
It's called a Lightning Express. John Henry. His conductor uniform. Right here. Punch your ticket. Tickets, please. Tickets, please. And there's the ticket they would punch. Don't know if you can see it, but on this watch, I tried to zoom in, it said that you can see the words "railroad approved" on the dial, because the time had to be accurate. Trains are always on time. Here's a map of the Seaboard Airline. Starts up in Portland, Maine, and runs down through Philadelphia, and branches in the train coming from Norfolk, somewhere in Virginia, and then comes down to Hamlet. Continues on down through Hamlet, all the way down to New Orleans. course, here in Hamlet, North Carolina, there's a lot of things that's happened, but something I bet a lot of people don't know, that in 1920, a company called L.A. Corning moved to Hamlet to open what would become the Buttercup Ice Cream Company. And we've all heard of Buttercup. Also, the E.A. Lackey Company shipped whiskey on the railroad and also served it in the bar on the Hamlet's main street. His Silver Top Corn whiskey was first trademark registered in North Carolina. And this is inside the depot itself, where people would come and wait on the train. And it's round. People would sit here. This depot is still used today. In fact, let's see. At 6:14 a.m. the Silver Star from Miami to New York, train 92. And then tonight at 11:14 the Silver Star southbound coming from New York to Miami. I've been on that train, in fact. And this is the Seaboard Hotel, which is where we're at right now. Walk around outside of the train terminal here in Hamlet. Brings back memories of days gone by. Of course, when the train would come, we would walk out of the terminal and walk right down to the sidewalk and get on the train. Of course, when we were all little boys, we always dreamed of having a model railroad. And I actually did back in the early 60s, but nothing like this. This is one huge railroad with the town set up. All type of tools used for track maintenance. Station master at an office. And even the communication cables or telephone lines that ran beside the railroad track. Provided lots of jobs. And here we are outside of the Tornado building, where a very old train is kept. Let's go take a look. This is called the Tornado. And like the first space shuttle launch, the Tornado's journey helped forge a new era in transportation. On March the 21st, 1840, the Tornado was the first train to ever arrive in Raleigh, North Carolina, on the new Raleigh and Gaston Railroad. And this train was built in 1839. There's the coal car here in the back. You see, back then they didn't have a covered place for the engineer. They would shovel the coal right in this little hole right there. The wooden rails were 85 miles long, and they were topped with the iron caps running along these wheels. It was known as the Raleigh and Gaston Railroad, and actually connected the capital in Raleigh, North Carolina, to the capital in Virginia. Now housed in what they call the Tornado building. And this wood and metal train is a replica. but you would think it's not that old. It was made in 1892. About a month ago, I did the Spencer, North Carolina Transportation Museum. And when I talked about the roundhouse, where the trains would come in to be repaired, and here is a model of what that looked like. There's a train on a carousel, and it would rotate and be able to go into the roundhouse there to be repaired. Here's some old cars in the Tornado building. It's a 1930 Model A. There's another old fire truck. This is a train track service vehicle known as a speeder. It would travel along to inspect the tracks. And these buckets on each side with the hoses coming off would dispense sand onto the track in order to gain traction to move along. In a bluegrass song that I have sang, they talk about sanding the track, and that's where the term comes from. Well, I hope you enjoyed our trip to the Depot Museum today and look at the old train. Y'all be sure to come back again. Well, for right now, I've got to catch a train. Y'all have a good day.